Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Oliver Blue, and I am so happy that you are with me this morning and have come to complete the next lesson in the workbook for students for A Course in Miracles. And today we are going to be looking at lesson 12 on our journey. Before we get into the lesson, I wanted to go back to the preface portion of the book, which is in the very first part of the book. And it's on Roman numeral 10. On page Roman number 10, there's a summary here that talks about what the book actually says. It's under the section, what it says. And so there's a statement here right at the beginning of that heading that summarizes the entire idea in A Course in Miracles. There's almost 1,500 pages in this book. It's a lot of pages, a lot of words. But the book has been summarized up in three very short sentences on page Roman number 10 in the very front of the book in the preface. And if you've never read it, you may want to turn over there and mark this page because it's a place where you can always go back to until you remind yourself of what is the central core simple message of A Course in Miracles. And it reads, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. These three sentences summarizes the overall message of A Course in Miracles. So you can always go back at any point in these 365 days that we're going to be together, going through these exercises, and bring all that you have experienced and learned and practiced in the exercises, and you can sum them all up in this statement. Nothing real can be threatened. So at the very core of this teaching and training, the Course is making a fundamental difference between what is real and what is not real. And it's saying that which is real, meaning if it's real, that means it's unchangeable, it's unalterable, it's eternal. It's always been and it always will be. That which is real cannot be threatened, meaning it can't be changed, can't be altered. Nothing can have an impact on it. It just is. It merely is. And when we accept what is merely is, that which is real, we relax in that reality. And on the other hand, it states that nothing unreal exists. So if that which is real are true, in other words, that which is real, that which is true, if it's unalterable and if it's eternal and unambiguous, it cannot be changed. It can be unrecognized. Which is real, we can unrecognize it, but we can't change it. We can't alter it. And it applies to everything. And what the Course says is that what God created, that is what is real. And if you get into the text of the book, it says that the only thing that God created is us, is you and me. That's what's real. And so that means that nothing that is unreal. So that means that if it's unreal, it's not true, it's alterable, meaning it can be changed. It's not eternal, that means that it's temporal. It's mortal. And it says that that means that it's ambiguous. So those things, or those ideas, or those thoughts, they're not real, meaning they're only temporary. In the scriptures, it says, look not at the things that are seen, because they're temporary, because they're unreal, because they're alterable, because they come and they go. It says, but look at the things, it says, look not at the things that are seen, but at the things that are not seen. What are the things that are not seen? The things that are not seen are the real things. Your true identity as spirit, your true identity as awareness, is not seen, but it's eternal, it's unalterable, it's unambiguous. That's the thing that is not seen. So scripture says, look at the things that are not seen, for they are eternal. So it's saying the same thing as the Course is saying. That which is real cannot be threatened, can't be changed, can't be altered. So your true reality, your essential nature as a infinite, eternal, aware, pure present being cannot be altered. Who you really are is unchangeable. But it says that which is unreal, which we find ourselves in this world of change, this world of come and go, it says that really doesn't exist. It's a temporary existence. It's a temporary space of activities and events and sensations and relationships. All these things come and they go. They're not real. So when we embrace the idea of the only thing that is real is our true identity, which is one with God's true identity, and that which is not real is that which we associate as the world and the things of the world, the thoughts of the world. When we embrace those two realities, it says, herein lies peace. We will begin to experience the peace because we have embraced what is real and that which is not real. We see it for what it is. It's a temporary, projected idea of temporary things where we have an experience of activities, events, relationships, perceptions, sensations, feelings, emotions. In the grand scheme of things, they are meaningless. Meaningless. So now let's move over to our workbook lesson for the day, lesson 12, and it reads, I am upset because I see a meaningless world. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. So the importance of this idea lies in the fact that it contains a correction to a major perceptual distortion. The idea is saying that all upsets, no exceptions, are because we see a meaningless world. We see all the events and activities of the world as meaningless. That is at the core of why we are upset. We may we may put the blame about being upset on activities, events, relationships, sensations, perceptions, that which comes, that which goes, that which is temporal. But the idea in the lesson today is saying the real reason we're upset is because we see a meaningless world. You think that what upsets you is a frightening world, or a sad world, or a violent world, or an insane world. All these attributes are given it by you. We give the world the meanings. Remember one of the early lessons says, I have given the world all the meaning it has for me. I have given these thoughts all the meanings that it has for me. I have given what I see, the things I see in this room, all the meaning that it has for me. So we have assigned meaning to the world. And even after assigning the meaning to the world, as we look at it, we say, that I'm actually upset about the meaning that I have applied to the world. And it makes me upset. Wow, just think about that. I was with a friend on yesterday, and he expressed his extreme um, upsetness over how humans get themselves in such a desperate situation, living in some of the most dire conditions, and it upsets them that all of humanity is not running to their rescue to pull them out of that situation. This upsets him because it appears in the moment that the world is insensitive to people's conditions. But as we go through this lesson, it says that his real upset is because he sees a meaningless world. It makes no sense. It's meaningless. But what is the definition of meaningless? If something is meaningless, that means that it's neither good nor bad. It just is. It just is. These exercises are done with eyes open. So today we're going to go through the exercise with our eyes open. Look around you. Look around you this time slowly. So as you look around the environment that you're in, look slowly at the different objects in the room that you're in without um, discriminating, being indiscriminate. So it includes everything. You don't exclude anything, but just look around slowly. Try to pace yourself so that the slow shifting of your glance from one thing to another involves a fairly constant time interval. Do not allow the time of the shift to become markedly longer or shorter, but try instead to keep a measured, even tempo throughout your gaze. What you see does not matter. You teach yourself this as you give whatever your glance rests on equal attention in equal time. It's all the same. One thing is not greater than another. It's all the same. This is the beginning step in learning to give them all equal value. You know how it is. We put value on things. We put value on things. We put value on people. We put value on time. We put value on money. We put value on experiences. We put value, on our beliefs, our thoughts. We put the value there. According to the Course, they're meaningless. According to the Course, they're not real. They're temporal. They come and they go. But as we move through this course, we will come to understand that that which does not come and go, that which is unalterable, unchanging, that which is constant, that which is permanent, that which is eternal, that does not come and go, is you. Your pure conscious awareness is what is permanent, what is real, and cannot be threatened. Just think about it. From the time that you entered this world, you had awareness. As an infant, you had awareness, but you had no experience or no memory of anything you in this world that you saw or that you thought. You had no past to think about. You were an innocent, clean slate. But over time, you begin to be conditioned by what you saw. You begin to be conditioned by what you thought, because you were beginning each event, each activity, each feeling, each emotion began to create a memory. And then when you had a second or a third experience with the same thing, you begin to engage the thing or the thought based on your first or second or third memory. So you begin very early. We begin very early to only see through our past and became preoccupied by our past experience. That's why when a small infant, when he sees things with no experience, he becomes so enamored by the thing, fascinated by the thing, so adventurous to want to know what it is, what it feels like, what it tastes like, wants to put everything in our mouth, you know, because we have no past experience. And so we're actually, as an infant, we're in the present moment because we're fascinated and looking at what we're observing for what it is. But over time, we begin to approach the things in the world from our past experience. And according to the training, we're not seeing and we're not thinking. But we were conditioned that way. So as we give everything in the world equal value because everything is the same, we say to ourselves, I think I see a fearful world, a dangerous world, a hostile world, a sad world, a wicked world, a crazy world, and so on. I mean, we all have our perceptions about the world. A fearful world, an unkind world, using whatever descriptive term happens to occur to you. If terms which seem positive rather than negative occur about the world, include them. For example, you might think of a good world or a satisfying world. If such terms occur to you, use them along with the rest. You may not yet understand why these nice objectives belong in these exercises, but remember that a good world implies a bad one, and a satisfying world implies an unsatisfying one. All terms which cross your mind are suitable subjects for today's exercise. Their seemingly quality does not matter. Be sure that you do not alter the time intervals between applying today's ideas to what you think is pleasant and what you think is unpleasant. For the purposes of these exercises, there is no difference between them. Everything we see in this room, in this place, through that window, down the street, in the grocery store, on my job, every person you see, they're all the same for the purpose of these exercises. And then at the end of your 1 minute exercise, you can add the statement, but I am upset because I see a meaningless world. What is meaningless is neither good nor bad. So if it has no meaning, then that means it's neither good nor bad. It's just neutral. It just is. Why then should a meaningless world upset you? Think about that. If it's meaningless, why should we be upset? If you could accept the world as meaningless and let the truth be written upon it for you, it would make you indescribably happy. But because it is meaningless, you are impelled to write upon it what you would have it be for you. It is this you see in it. It is this that is meaningless in truth. We see a meaningless world, and then we attempt to bring meaning to it, to get the world to do what we want it to do, to get people to do and to be what we want them to do and to be. And when it doesn't turn out the way we want it, we think we are upset because it didn't turn out the way we want it, or because people are not doing what we want them to do. And we get upset. But the reason we're upset is because we see a meaningless world. It is this you see in it, and it is this that is meaningless in truth. Beneath your words, beneath what we apply meaning to it, is written the word of God, or the word of truth. The truth upsets you now. But when your words have been erased, you will see his word. You will see the truth. We have written our words upon a meaningless world, and it upsets us. We've done it. We've applied our meaning to it, our perceptions, based on what? The past. And it upsets us. But what it's saying in this lesson is that beneath what we have written is the truth. but we can't see it because it's blocked by our own meaningless ideas. But once our words have been lifted, we will see God's meaning, God's purpose, God's truth. And this is the ultimate purpose of these exercises. Ultimately, we are going to have an experience where we see the truth as it is, that we see that which is real and never changing. And what we'll discover is ourself. Because according to the idea and the lesson put forth in the course, only what God created is real. And the one thing that God created was himself. And he called himself you and me. Or more stately put it, he calls it I am. That's what's real. That's what's unalterable. That's what's eternal. That's what cannot be threatened. And in that reality lies the peace of God that we all search for. It's in our true identity as I am. Pure presence, pure awareness, pure knowing, pure truth, complete innocence. Just like that infant, and every infant that makes their grand appearance in this world, having no memory, having no association with the things in this world. They have no fear. They have no meaning to anything. And they start their journey to be conditioned by their experiences. My meaningless thoughts my meaningless sight caused me to be upset because I see a meaningless world. Do the practice today, 3 or 4 times. Look around and apply the idea. Whatever you see, no exceptions. I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. This has been really good. Stay with the idea. Practice the idea. Namaste.